Okay. So it looks like we're live, coming up on 5 minutes live this time, and this time it's not my fault. This time it's not my fault. I will explain. I will explain momentarily. But let me just make sure we got the broadcast going and make sure that we've got audio. Testing 1, 2. Let's see. Yes, we do have audio. Okay, so the Mighty Rat, Craig, pictures of the Mighty Rat Milgauss sent. Would like your comments from everybody. Absolutely, we're going to show that. We've got it. We've got 30 minutes to go during the house. How's everyone doing? Staying alive? Health. Excuse me. Maybe I've got the thing. How's everyone doing? Staying alive? Healthcare is a war zone right now. Lewis in the house. But watch deals are coming. Things are starting to crack. Deals are going to be made. Is it true Rolex prices are dropping, or is that just talk? Yes, absolutely they're dropping, and there are deals to be had. Just hold out and make offers, make cash offers. Cash talks, everything else walks. The Mighty Rats in the house. Rolex hanging tough in the UK. Omega tag and Breitling traveling like a fat man without a parachute. Just seems to be slipping a little, not as fast as I would like. Lewis R in the house. Lewis R, they have slipped a little, not drastic, though, yet at least. Lewis R, no need buying GS used when you can buy it brand new for almost the same price from Steve. Yeah, and get box and papers with your name on it. Absolutely. Kyle Jets in the house, agreed. We will see what a month of this current situation will do to prices. Lewis in the house. Kyle, you got yours from Steve, right? I had the same watch as you. Nice piece. And we are live, loud and clear. Okay, we're live. I need estimates before I buy new. 5x5 Thurston Howell III. David Williams in the house. Hi, Craig and all. Craig, were you wearing your Tudor tonight? Nope. I'm wearing the Stunner, the 231 Stunner. The Tudor, unfortunately, got dropped down the toilet amongst some other crap, and it just got flushed. So it's probably on its way to China right now. Good place for it. And Durr says, hi, Dave. Blue says, hello, everyone. I'm seeing spring drive chronographs for $4,400. Wow. I almost pulled the trigger on a titanium one that was on eBay, but I'm not a chronograph guy, but it was tempting. Durr's in the house, cash talks, Tudor walks. That's how the saying goes. I can't decide on getting a Zane 104 or Grand Seiko Super Quartz. Well, my gosh, I would absolutely get the Grand Seiko, and especially if you can get the Superman. Is that the one that's called the Superman? I don't know which one they're calling the Superman. One of those new 60th anniversaries ones is called the Superman. I'm not sure which one. But anyway, the one we're going to show, and we showed yesterday, this is part 2, a continuation of yesterday's broadcast. For those that missed yesterday's, you might want to check it out, but not now, after this live stream. Kevin D, my 3 favorite guys I like to listen to all come on at 5. Steve, Trump, and Francesca. Okay. T-Con, go with Grand Seiko, but nothing wrong with getting both. Sen 104 is very good. Hi, Craig, wearing a Tudor, LLL. Kevin in the house. Kyle, yes, just got a few days ago. Great watch. Oh, yeah, absolutely. David in the house. And Kevin again, morning, LOL. Okay, Bree Fit Dance, the lovely Brianna's in the house. Would trade in your 231 for its thinner tie replacement. Depends on how thin. If they came out with a 231 like this that was like 12 mils thick, I mean, it'd be a miracle. But if they came out with this and it was like 12 mils thick, and maybe even a little smaller, maybe 42 mil overall size and 12 mils thick, yes, I think I would lock and load. Because then I think it would go under most of my cuffs. So yeah, that would be cool. That would be interesting. That'd make it more versatile, but I don't think they can get it that thin. like 12.6 mils thick or 13 mils, that wouldn't do it. That wouldn't be thin enough to make the difference. So I might as well have it this thickness. It wouldn't matter, right? So when all the toilet paper was sold out in the stores, I just pulled out a Tudor, and it did the trick better than expected. Waterproof, so it could be used multiple times. There you go. Damn. Somebody says, hi, Bree, welcome back. And what's your opinion on the SBGX295? I have one with black hands and indices that is only in Asian markets, I believe. Excuse me. And I don't have the thing. I just got something in my throat. Let's check the SBGX295. SBGX295. I was eating some peanuts earlier, and one went down the wrong way, and it's just been bugging my throat ever since. Yeah, I mean, that's an interesting looking watch. It's a nice case, but you know, there are a number of American model units that are equally as good. But this is neat that it's 37 mils, so it's a smaller watch, and it's 10 mils thick. So that would be great for folks that have a smaller wrist. Absolutely. Would be what we call a competitive option. And hi, Craig, is the Quartz GS with the star on the dial better than the normal Quartz models? Mine is super accurate without it. The difference is this one that's on the screen now, the 005, is rated at plus minus 10 seconds a year, I believe. And the other is plus minus 5 seconds a year. But mine's still within like a second or two a year. I mean, they under-promise and over-deliver, I guess, because both my spring drive and my 005 are crazy accurate, just insane. Speaking of crazy, it's crazy how you have to justify every cough these days. Craig, when are you going to get some merchandise? We got to get some CraigShip koozies or maybe some coasters or Wrench Gang sweatshirts during the house. Well, we're going to have somebody we'll have to outsource that to somebody. SBGX259. Oh, I searched the wrong thing. I'm sorry. Let me try this again. Try this again. 259. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's a stunner. That's a stunner. So, yeah. And that's a U.S. model. Yeah, I mean, that's gorgeous with that white dial. And very reasonable. Let's see what the size is of this one. Yeah, this is a smaller case, 37 mils by 10 mils thick. So, yeah, that would be fantastic for somebody that wants an all-arounder. I mean, that could absolutely be used anytime, anywhere as an all-arounder with just 10 mils thick. Are you kidding me? That would be fantastic. Fantastic. And John says, howdy, Craig from Utah. Okay, let's look at this email before I forget. Let's pull up this email. Okay. Here we go. The Mighty Rat, the Milgauss. So this is one we talked about the other day, and it's on, what do they call that oyster strap? They've got a term for it. But, yeah, I mean, I think it's interesting. Would it be my pick? Probably not. Again, I've talked about how I think the Milgauss is a little bit thick because of that Faraday cage and everything. And I don't need the anti-magnetic properties. But and if you think you need that, then absolutely, by all means. But I would rather go with like an Explorer, just a straight-up Explorer. And for me, I don't see the point in the rubber strap, but it does give it a different look. It is interesting. I mean, teach their own. I mean, it's certainly not what I would classify as an ugly watch. It certainly would not be in that category. I think it's pretty cool. Would it be my pick? Probably not, but it is pretty cool. And I love the Grand Seiko watches. Unfortunately, there are not enough boutiques that you can go in and see the remarkable craftsmanship. You really have to see the GS in person. I own the Snowflake, and I agree absolutely with all that. That is the same as my watch, but with a white dial, Kyle Jet in the house. Okay. Yeah, both stunning pieces. Absolutely stunning options. Right, no way. Contact Steve for a price. There you go. And, when we're talking about price on a GS, folks, I mean, maybe you can shop Steve's price and you can save a couple $100, but, where do you draw the line on stuff like that? I mean, how much is your time worth and jerking around and all that? And, Steve is a known quantity. He's going to give you great service if there ever is an issue. It's going to be a pleasure dealing with him. Is it really worth a couple $100 to go around and just, try to just work the hell out of the price? I mean, teach their own, but to me, if I think I'm getting a decent price, I'm going to stick with people I know and do it that way. Let's see. Do you think that the extra 900 pounds for the SBGP007 is justified when compared to yours? Here we go, talking about price again. Well, I like mine, and if you are going to use the GMT function, then it's a no-brainer because, that's what you're going to have to do to get the GMT. But I will tell you, those are stunners. Those anniversary models are stunning pieces. So yeah, there are pluses and minuses to mine. Mine also has the crown guards. Mine has the screw down crown. So yeah, it's a tough call. It really is. I really like that other watch though. Let me pull up these stunners. See if I can pull them up here. Wow, we looked at a lot of stunners the other day. Okay, here we go. Here are the stunners in question, and that I'll tell you that 007 is a stunner. Let's look at some more tabs here. And I think we had a big, do we have a big image of that? Thought we did. Where is it? Wow, we were looking at a lot of watches. Let me close a few of these out. I just got to close a few of these out. Because we're just getting overloaded with tabs here, folks. And overloaded with tabs. Grand Seiko is just making too many awesome pieces. How come we're not seeing the big picture I had of that was really stunning? It was here somewhere. What's this? Oh, this was the Omega we looked at. Let's get rid of that Omega for now. We don't need that in the picture. Well, there's a stunner. And there's another stunner. So, wow, there's the other stunner. We got stunners all over the place. For some reason, I lost the big, gorgeous photo of that 007, but take my word for it, it was there. And it is stunning. Oh, here we go. Here's a bigger photo, but that's not the one I was thinking about. Oh, now that's the automatic. That's the other one. Oh, let's click on this one. We're getting confused here. There we go. Yeah, I really like that case design. I like that dial. I like the gold star. I like the blue dial and the red secondhand setting off of it. Not much that I can say negative about that piece. And if you do like the concept of limited edition, then there you go. I mean, the 005 is not a limited edition, so that would make the decision real easy. But other than that, it's not an easy decision. Let's see. I sent them a few days ago, but I may make a video and post it to my channel. It's a great watch, David Kyle in the house. Forget the Milgauss, get the Explorer 1. Joey in the house, I hear you. MR, don't buy that eBay listing, though. Great watch from Steve, absolutely. David Williams, okay, great. The Mighty Rat, I'm not a Milgauss fan in that color, but on the rubber it looks better than on the bracelet. I prefer Z Blue Milgauss, but don't ever see myself buying one. They're in the house. I hate that second hand on that Milgauss. Oh, I hear you. That jagged second hand, I hear you. It is a little bit irritating, but not terrible. It wouldn't be a killer for me, but yeah. Hey man, I have the SBGN007. Love the watch, but you have to love green. Okay, SBGN007. So let's pull that up. Yeah, that's the one that Steve had one of these. Trying to find a good picture that I can show you. See if it can pull up, if this will be any good. Time and Tide. Time and Tide watches. Yeah, there we go. So, yeah, I mean, obviously you have to like green, but pretty stunning. I like the gold GS Grand Seiko and GMT in gold. I like that. It goes really nice with the green. So yeah, I don't think you can go too wrong there either. 2 thumbs up for that one. Let's see. I was actually on eBay when the number got called out, and I was looking at the listing. No skin in the game. Okay. The Z Blue Milgauss used to be my grail, but then I discovered Grand Seiko. Tom in the house. I hear you. I put that one on the rubber B strap because I have the Z Blue one on bracelet as well. There you go. The GS on that listing was over retail. Steve would kill that price if you actually wanted to pick that up. I had the same watch in the black dial. Kyle owns the same watch as well. There you go. Durr in the house. The Mighty Rat, you have 2 Milgauss. That's overkill, man. Z Blue is dynamite, though. Craig, forget the 007. It doesn't compare to the 005. Joey in the house. Well, I like my 005. I mean, I'm not considering changing, but I have to say the 007 is stunning. They're both stunning. So it would be a very difficult call if I had to buy one or the other today. It would be almost a coin toss. Of course, I haven't seen the 007 in person, so I'd have to see what it looks like in person, but my guess is it's stunning. Leon in house, I bought GS from Steve, but as Grand Seiko does not see fit to offer the Quartz 9F divers in the USA, I had to buy my Grand Seiko SBGX 335 from Japan a few months ago. Leon in the house. Yeah, I wish they would bring those over here. I wish they would bring some of those cool models over here. I don't know why they don't. Not good. Treating us like redheaded stepchildren over here. The Mighty Rat, thanks for the Milgauss comments, gang. It wasn't called ugly, so I'll take that. Yeah, you're okay. What is the case size on that 007? I believe it's 40 mils. I believe it's 40 mils. Where is it? Do they even have the stats here? Oh, there's that other picture I was talking about. Stunning. Oh, I'm not showing it. What am I doing? There's that other close-up. Specifications. It's limited to 2,500 pieces. And let's see here. It is 40 mils by 10.8. So very nice and trim, under 11 mils. That's very nice. And so yeah, I think that's a good size. Unless you have pretty small wrist, right? If you have a pretty small wrist, that 40 mil might be getting a little bit sizey. But other than that, I think that might be good. It's just a hair bigger. I think mine's 39.5 mils, my 005. So let's see. What is the, okay, I wonder what the significance of the gold stars on the dial. It's a more accurate version of the 9F. It's plus minus 5 seconds a year, as opposed to plus minus 10 seconds. So theoretically, it's a little bit more accurate, but they're both insanely accurate. So, but it is cool to have the little star. I'll grant that. What's the cheapest spring drive? I think there's one that lists around $3,000, but don't quote me on that. Steve can absolutely hook you up, and it's actually a pretty cool watch. It's a little bit thinner than some of the others and a little bit smaller, and it's pretty cool, the entry-level spring drive. I think he probably has it on his website. But yeah, I think it's around that range. Dave Wright, Grand Seiko SBGP007 coming to U.S. in spring is just perfect. Okay. Well, let's pull that up and see. SBGP007. Bum, 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 bum. Oh, yeah, I think we've shown this before. That is kind of a stunner. Now, it is a high beat. You know, if somebody wants a high beat. Again, for Grand Seiko, personally, I would lean towards getting a spring drive or a 9F, personally. See, this thing's 14 mils thick, right? So 40 mils by 14 mils thick. So it's as thick as my diver, pretty much. So I don't think you're going to use that as a dress watch or all-arounder. That's, you know, you're going to be more in the sporty range. And it does have, no, it doesn't have Lume on the hands either. So, yeah. Gold stars are 5 points with the 5 seconds per year accuracy. Yep. Yeah. When they make the 9F second-hand sweep like spring drive, game over. I don't know if they're going to do that, though, Kevin. It's a good question. That would be pretty amazing. It's kind of, and the 9F is kind of amazing in its own right in that it hits those second markers like right on the button. I mean, at least mine does. And it's pretty cool watching it do its thing, too. Seiko needs to make 37 to 38 millimeter spring drive dress watch if they haven't made one yet. I think I think their entry level one is in that range. Well, and I think they have some. I think some of those dress watches are pretty close to that. Some of those manual wines ones that are real thin, I think they're pretty close. And I would definitely try them on because, you know, the shape of the lugs and all also plays into all of that as far as comfort on wrist. Not just the absolute size, but there are a lot of other factors. Spring drive and 9F should be in any person's watch collection if they are an enthusiast. There you go. Or just do like me and have a spring drive and a 9F and call it a day. Yeah, that's the other option. I wear the 007 on the green suede strap quite often. There you go. My two good watches are 9F GS and Spring Drive GS. Blue in the house. Good move. 007 hands down. What percentage would be considered a good deal? 35%, 40%? Are you talking about a discount? You know, that would be a hell of a good deal, I think. Don't know if you're going to get that, but... And here's the thing, if you have to really think about the discount you're getting and all of that, maybe you're stretching a little too far on the watch you're buying. Just saying. If it's that big an issue, and we all want to get a deal and we all want to save money, but if it's a really big deal, you might be stretching a little bit. especially given the current financial times. It's best to be a little bit conservative. Let's see. I have a SBGA001 and a SBGX038. There you go. And 40 millimeter. Japan closed down international shipping today. They won't even ship out of Japan? Well, I may never get an 002. Maybe it just wasn't meant to be, folks. Maybe it just wasn't meant to be. Let's see here. Durr in the house. Sorry, 35 to 40% is pretty steep, but depending on the model, you can get an outstanding deal on GS from Steve. Everything purchased from him will be right on par with discounts as long as you're a fan. There you go. Yeah, be a fan. Absolutely. Have you seen the Seiko Astron line? Steve has several, and they're stunning with GPS and solar. Interesting. 5 seconds here, says John, and they are numbered, I think. Okay. And again, my 005 is probably within 2 seconds a year. I mean, it's insanely accurate, and it's not even the high accuracy quartz. So I think they overperform from what they're promised to do. Let's see, Lewis, if you're in New York, New Jersey area, I got a Grand Seiko AD that can hook you up. Joey Ben. Yeah, Joey, you didn't buy from Steve. You bought from somebody else. We have a we have a turncoat in the hanging out. Like I say, you save a few $100, but you know, I think it's better to deal with the man, deal with Steve. Durr's in the house. He says blue, cool prices, but pretty similar aside from the one being two-tone. You need to get into a diver or chrono. I'm on the opposite coast, but thanks for looking out. Lewis in the house. If I get a diver, it will be titanium GS. Yeah, I don't blame you. Let's take a close-up look at this one. That is a stunner by any measure. Don't sleep on those 007s. The 25th anniversary 9F watches are really hard to find. Find one and buy it. I hear you. And Steve has one in stock. Steve has one of those stunners in stock. Let me see if I can clean these glasses. These glasses are crusty. Do a time check while I clean my glasses. Yeah, I absolutely think that some of these 60th anniversary models are going to become a little bit tricky to get. Let me see if I can pull this one up one more time here. How do I... Oh, here it is. Here's the stunner. There's that stunner. Wow. I mean, all I can say is, wow. That is a stunner. You know, if you want something just a little bit sportier, just with a little bit of pizzazz to it, you know? A little bit of pizzazz to it. Let's see. SBGA285 on a bracelet, 39 mil. The Pontiff gave his seal of approval for Grand Seiko on a recent paid review. However, he did say one was enough. There you go. It's really, Grand Seiko is really for those who just want a superior watch. And, you know, they're not buying it just to show off on social media. They're buying it to wear every day, and they just want a really great watch. You know, if you want bragging rights that you have a Rolex, then you buy a Rolex, right? If you just want a really good watch, you step up to a Grand Seiko, and it is a step up. What's good, Craig? Brent in the house. A lot of things. Life is good. GMT Master 2 and Milgrau's Z Blue are my duo. There you go. It's not a bad duo. I wore GMT Master 2s for years. Carlos in the house. And by the way, Bark and Jack did this video about the subs and talking about how terrible the older sub bracelets were and all flimsy and all this stuff. Hey, they held up fine. We wore those watches for years with either the flip lock bracelet for a lot of the GMT Masters had the flip lock bracelet also. They held up fine. And the stamped clasps and all that, they held up fine. They worked fine for years. Non-issue. They didn't fall off our wrists. They didn't break and come loose or any of that kind of nonsense. And we were wearing them, you know, daily, heavy use watches. They were absolutely fine. They were comfortable on wrist. There were no problems with them. You know, you have these people that have no experience with watches, you know, these newcomers, and they make all these comments as if they know what they're talking about, and they have no clue. You don't know anything about these watches until you've worn them for decades. I wish they would just keep their traps shut and just hold their opinions until they have a little bit of experience, some of these guys. So, yeah. And that goes for the dog man, too. He makes a lot of comments as if he knows what he's talking about. He's new to this whole game, okay? He's wet behind the ears. So, there's that. Hi, what do you think about the Omega Caliber 8900, which is a master chronometer with 60-hour power reserve and seems to be very accurate? Also, the new Seamaster Alcantara 150 has the caliber. I like a lot of the Omegas. You know, some of them are a little bit on the thick side, so you have to watch that. And I like the old original, we talked about it the other day, I like the original James Bond watch, the one with the quartz movement in it. I think that watch is cool because it's nice and trim. It's only about 12 mils thick. So, yeah, they've made some nice watches over the years. Dur's in the house. You serve one of any watch is enough, but what kind of fun is that? Well, Craig, apparently Patek ADs have been authorized to sell online. Okay, there you go. No 002, almost 4 Bitcoin. Kevin, what does that mean? No 002, almost 4 Bitcoin. Oh, it would cost 4 Bitcoin to buy it. That's what you're saying. Okay, I hear you. But I've got the money set aside to buy it. I'm not selling any of my Bitcoin. Trust me, I'm not selling any of my Bitcoin to get any watch. But I have the money set aside. I told Steve I've got the money ready to go if he can get it in stock, but he can't seem to get it. So, you know, and they don't give a rat's rear end that I want one. You know, I get no favor from them at all. They're shipping watches to other dealers, other ADs, and they could care less that Craig wants a 002. Evidently, it's apparent that that's the case. Not that I'm bitter. Not that I'm bitter. Dur's in the house. Patek has some of the most boring pieces out there. Unless they introduce more sports models, I'll pass on all their models. Dur in the house. And see, I wouldn't be interested in any of their sport models, so we're a little different on that. If I was going to buy a Patek, I'd want a dress watch. But, yeah, I'd much rather have the 002 than any of their Calatravas, to tell you the truth. And their Calatravas are pretty cool, but the 002, I think, just poops all over them. You serve, come on, Joey. Steve has a family to feed. There you go, Joey Ben. I tried to buy from Steve, but my AD is 20 minutes from my house, and I was trying them on, and I had cash in hand, and they treat me well. Nothing personal, it's business. There you go. That's okay. That's all right. That's no big deal. No big deal. Dur's in the house. Craig, did my email come through? Oh yeah. Let me pull up that email. I get distracted. Is what happens. So let me pull up this email. of some stunners. Those are some stunners, I shall say. Those are both really cool. I will tell you, those are both cool looking, heavy use, potentially heavy use pieces. I like them both. I think I would go with the one on the right. I think I would go with the one on the right in that instance. And now let's check out the other picture. Oh wow, look at that Lume shot. Stunning, stunning. Oh yes, look at that. Is that super cool or what? Damn. That is super freaking cool. And that one's solar. Yeah. I had one solar powered Seiko watch and it quit. I bought it at Costco and then I ended up returning it to Costco. There's another picture. I like that Pepsi on the right. I guess that's the same watch with different bracelets on it. But yeah, I like it. I like it on the bracelet personally. That's a cool looking piece. I'll tell you what. Absolutely cool looking piece. Let's see. Uh-oh, somebody said the stream is screwing up. Hopefully not. Hopefully it's showing live on my Video Pro right now. So it's pretending like we're live. Hopefully we are. Let's see here. I think an SBGK006 would really fit Craig well, assuming the gold 002 doesn't come in. Plus it will save money. Such a beautiful piece. Is that the one we looked at the other day? Let me... SBGK006. Let's pull it up in case we can here. Yeah, I think we looked at this the other day. Yeah, that's the piece we looked at the other day. Yeah, I don't think I would compromise and go for that one. I think for me it's going to be kind of like the 002 or not. Let's see what the size of this one is. Yeah, see, this is 11.6 mils thick, so significantly thicker. Yeah, I don't think I would go that direction. I think I'll just stick with what I have. If I don't get what I want, when you're spending that much money for a watch, my opinion is you get what you want. You don't compromise just because you can't get what you want. I am too many people on the internet at the same time. Reserve. I mind paying for something. I know people got a family to feed, but doesn't mean I got to pay for filet mignon, Joey Bennett. Now, okay, enough. We don't need to go round and round with this. I mean, we like to give Steve the business if we can, and we can't always give Steve the business, so it is what it is. We don't need to beat a dead horse here. Triforce Rich, I was, but restarted. Okay, it's good now, but it has frozen twice, both times for a little while during the house. Uh-oh. Craig just laid the smackdown on Goldberg. Craig versus Dogman, the old white man version of Ali versus Frazier. There you go. Well, it just gets me a little sideways sometimes when these people talk about these watches as if they know what they're talking about, especially the vintage watches, as if they know what they're talking about. You know, these quote vintage watches, you know, I was wearing back in the day. My friends were wearing them. I know all about them. You know, been there, done that. And these guys talk like they know what the hell they're talking about, and they didn't even wear the damn watches. You saw the video. You saw the video, guys. If you didn't, it's on my page. My buddy Paul Faupel came to one of Steve's events at the Little Treasury, and he was wearing a red sub, if you guys know what a red sub is. Okay? He had it on his freaking wrist. All right? And I interviewed him for the video about the watch. And guess who he bought the watch from? Yeah, me, okay? And he bought the watch from me like in the early freaking 80s, all right? So that's real, folks. That's the real deal there. I think there were people that saw him and met him when he was at Steve's place. So, you know, I'm not making this stuff up, and I've got the video to prove it. Video or it didn't happen. Matter of fact, let me see if I can pull that up. This will be fun. See if I can pull it up. I got to find one of these YouTube videos that I'm not going to play again, that I'm not going to recycle. Yeah, I think I'll use this one. Okay, so let me see if I can find this video real quick. This will be fun. This will be fun if I can find it. Give me a second. Yeah, I think I found it. Okay. Let's get this puppy spooled up. So it's Friday, October 19, day one of Steve's big watch event. The big day is tomorrow, Saturday, the second day of the event. But I ran into a friend of mine, an old friend, Paul, who has a red sub that was made in the early 70s that I bought in the early 80s and then ended up selling to him and around 1983, 84. And he still has the watch. How cool is that? And I interviewed him. He had the watch with him. Okay, I'm here at Little Treasury Jewelers, and I'm here with Paul Falpel. Say hello.
Hello, how are you doing?
And what do you got on your wrist there?
I have an old vintage Submariner Rolex.
They call the red Submariner.
Right, the 1680.
Okay, and you have the original bracelet, but you put another bracelet on?
I did. It was due to some wear on that. I wanted to continue to keep it as wear-free as possible.
Yeah. So how long have you had the watch? Let's give the backstory a little bit here. You and I have had several watches where I've ended up with a watch and then somehow you've ended up with it.
Right. You go through them more than I do. I end up keeping them after you've given them to me or sold them to me at a reasonably good price.
So you have a strong hand. You hold. So let's go back in time. We were trying to discuss earlier, try to date this. We're probably looking at the early 80s.
Yeah, it'd be early 80s, so we're talking, some good 30-some years ago.
Yeah. We're both getting older.
Yeah, we sure are, but and the first watch that I remember you purchasing was a old, as it appeared to be, old bubbleback Rolex stainless, and then I acquired that from you several years later after you got tired of it and moved on to, I guess, the Submariner at that point in time. And then once again, that fell into my hands as well. So, and I've kept all of them over the years and continue to keep them. I also have an Omega Speedmaster that I got from you as well.
That limited edition watch, it's super complicated.
125, 1973 Speedmaster as well.
It was an anniversary watch, right?
That's correct. The 125th anniversary of Omega. So.
That's a beast of a watch. Of course, by today's
standards.
All right, we'll stop this. You can see the rest of the interview. Just search Paul on my channel or Paul Falpel, Faupel. So you see, we're not making this stuff up, folks. We're not making this stuff up. This is the way it happens in the real world when you're really out there making things happen. So that's the way that works. Let's see here. What is the 002 you're talking about? Okay, here, let me show it on the screen here. It's that gold stunner. That gold stunner, 002. That's what we're talking about. Let's see. You should invite Chip Wong if you want to chat about Bitcoin. He's the Bitcoin man. He's blocked. He was doing too much trolling. So he was blocked. So there you go. And, hopefully he still has, if he had a lot of Bitcoin, hopefully he still has it. A lot of folks have weak hands, though, and didn't retain their Bitcoin and don't actually still have it. But hopefully he still has it. It'd be good for him if he does. Let's see, Durr's in the house. I switched the bracelet and the shroud on the Pepsi tuna It's a very fun watch. Yeah, it is. Absolutely. That's cool looking. Durr says that one on the left could double up as my bath plug. Pepsi one. Okay. Have you looked into the Islander watches sold by Long Island Watch? Fantastic, affordable upgrade to the discontinued SKX. Might be interesting for people that want something on the affordable side. Durr in the house, the Mighty Rat. They are both badass Seiko tunas. I highly recommend having a tuna in the collection. Let's see. I'm still waiting for an 18 karat gold GS diver. It'll be expensive, but that's a great reward for hard work, patience, and smart financial planning. There you go. Yeah, that would be cool. And Viewer Serve says, I agree, Joey. Thumbs up. Tom Stever came. Tom Stever. Come on, man. No one wants a Long Island Watch branded watch. That's about as dumb as buying a Tudor. Uh-oh. During the house, equating that watch to a Tudor. Uh-oh. SSC701 is a great looking budget watch. $400, no. Okay. Stephen Gaud from Timeless Luxury Watches has the 002 Gold Center in stock. Yeah, I saw it. I saw him post it on Facebook, and it is a stunner. He posted some stunning photos of it. The Govberg folks have one in stock too. The Watchbox folks, they have one in stock. They had it on eBay. We showed it earlier. I think they had it for around $19,000 on eBay. So, yeah, if I buy it, I'll buy it from Steve. But if he doesn't get it, then obviously I won't buy it. It's not like I have to have the watch. I'm not dying, if I don't get the watch. Durr's in the house. I love this channel. Always pour a nice bourbon right beforehand and look forward to every live stream when I'm not required to miss one due to work. Okay, there you go. Well, hopefully you won't have to miss it. That sub is a stunner. Damn, Kevin in the house. Tom Stover, a friend of mine, got a Long Island sub, the baby blue color, amazing lume and very affordable. Joey in the house. Well, I've never seen that Speedmaster before. That's really unique, Craig. You should have never sold that. That's a really cool piece. Durr in the house. It was a bulky one too. It was a bulky piece. I only bought it because it was so unusual, and it was like in mint condition. It was box and papers and everything, and I got a real good deal on it, so I bought it. Back in the day, I used to pick up things like that when I get a good deal, and I've had a lot of cars over the years. And everybody says, "Well, you should have kept that. You should have kept this. You can't keep everything." You can't, especially back then, where would I store everything? Where would I, we were in motion. We were doing things, making things happen. We were just wearing watches, using cars, using women. Did I say that? And just, use them and move on. That was our mantra. Boats, sometimes we'd like blow up a boat, it'd just be like just straight up blown up, and, we'd move on. This is the way it happened sometimes back in the day. So, but yeah, I enjoyed every watch I had, every watch I wore. I actually wore and used them. And it was fun. It was fun. Now, Paul is a little more of a collector, so he bought the watches from me, and then he just kept them, and which is good, which is kind of fun that he still has 3 or 4 watches that he bought from me. That's pretty cool. Let's see. Chip Wong sold most of his coin, but I know he has about 150 left that he will not touch. Judging by his fully paid for Ferrari, he's doing fine. Good. If he holds on to those 150 Bitcoin, that'll be a good move. Absolutely. He probably regrets having sold the ones he sold at this point. But it is what it is. Yeah, obviously he's doing okay if he had a bunch of Bitcoin and he doesn't have any debt. That's always good. If you can have no debt and have everything paid off your home, your car, everything, and have a bunch of Bitcoin stashed, that's a good position, I think, to be in. Lewis in the house. My problem is that once I went to GS, I've lost all interest in Seiko level watches. I agree with you. I can't go back. I can't go back. I can't go back to Rolex. I've been asked many times, well, are you going to get another date? I don't think I can go back to Rolex at this point. I just don't think I love day dates. I had them for 40 years. I wore day dates, and I had several of them during that time, and I loved them. But sometimes you just can't go back. Kevin D, are there any 9F dress watches with a strap? Oh yeah, a lot of them. Yeah, I had one. I had an 18 karat gold stunner that had a strap. So yeah, they exist, and I think Steve might sell some of them. But I mean, you can always get one on a bracelet and get a strap for it, which would probably even be a better move, because that way you can go with either. You've got more versatility, right? Because a strap is always easy to get a hold of. The bracelet, not always easy to get a hold of. So I always recommend, if you can, get a watch on a bracelet and then throw a strap on it, if that's an option, like, with some of the Omegas and stuff. Durs in the house. Kevin D, there are lots of 9F models. All you got to do is put a strap on it. Well, that's what I just said. There we go. We think alike. LOL, Craig, you naughty boy. Kevin in the house. Use them and abuse them, LOL. Well, I don't think we abuse them. Well, maybe sometimes. When you're young, you do things. Wow, boats and Jaden in the house. Kevin D, it's hard to say which is more expensive to have around, a boat or. But I digress. Kevin D, my SBGX came with a gorgeous alligator strap. Got to get them while they're still legal. Man, isn't that something, that some states you can't even get them? That's really sad. Absolutely get those alligator straps while you can. I can see where the day date fits into the picture. Kevin in the house. Yeah, they were great watches to wear back in the day, and when I was usually wearing a suit, suit and tie most of the time, and it was always a great watch to have. Yep, and Chip Wrong is safe bunkering down in his fortified private island in the Bahamas. Well, that'd be good. That'd be a good move. Absolutely. The Seiko Astron is made in the same factory as GS quartz and is polished like a GS. Cool. Good to know. Proof that all trolls don't live in their mom's basement. Well, but have you been there? Are you sure that his mom isn't upstairs and that he isn't in the basement? It's possible, right? Jaden V, I like how GS has holes in the case on their sport watches, makes them a tool watch like Rolex. I think they have them on all their dress watches too. Doesn't this one? Let's pull up the video on the stunner and see if it. No, I guess it doesn't have holes. I'm sorry. The one I had did.
A 16 centimeter circumference wrist, and it's thin, 10.5 millimeters thick with a nicely sloped case flank.
Yeah,
it will easily slide underneath a tight dress sleeve or cuff. From lug to lug, wonderfully traditional 43.
So yeah,
8.4 millimeters with a 19 millimeter spacing.
Because it'll play over top of me. Okay. So some of them do, some of the dress watches do, and I guess some of them don't. Let's see here. Who is Chip Wrong? Kevin D says. Boats, fancy cars, Rolex, high-priced woman. Sounds like the 1980s Miami Vice. It was very much like that back in the day. I worked for Capital Porsche Audi in 1980, and I'll put it this way: we sold several 928, Porsches to people that pretty much paid cash, one way or the other, and yeah, that was a thing that was done. And yep. Wild times. And Cheetown says, hey, Craig, hey, first time here. Tim is in the house. First time here. Well, my goodness, we're almost ready to wrap up. We've been going for an hour, and sometimes these broadcasts cut off after about an hour. My streaming box, I don't know if it's getting iffy or if the internet connection is getting iffy, but a couple times here recently we've had a problem where it is just cut off. So keep that in mind, folks. It's best to get in early. Let's see, Craig, in the early 80s, what place was the most topping place in the D.C. area for... Well, there was a club that was a knockoff of Studio 54, and it was in, like, Arlington somewhere. I remember we drove around the Beltway from... I lived in Bethesda, and we'd drive around the Beltway into Northern Virginia and get off on Route 50 and go inside the Beltway and go to this club that was kind of a knockoff of Studio 54, and they called it Studio 50 because it was on Route 50 and in Arlington there, and it was a hopping place. I mean, we had a blast at that place. We'd go there usually every Friday and Saturday night, and when I was selling cars at the time, and we'd go in for the Saturday morning sales meeting at 9 a.m. at Wheaton Dodge at the time. This was like 1978 and 79, that time frame. And we'd be dragging into the sales meeting. Most of us didn't get any sleep at all that night. And but when you're young, you can do that. And but our sales manager was a hoot too. I mean, he was a blast. Those were fun times. We were making big money and partying hard, and there you go. What's the best small blue dial quartz watch on a bracelet I can get? That's a good question. Well, now you're not asking specifically about a Grand Seiko there, so you got all kinds of options. But yeah, there's a lot of Grand Seiko options. And if you want a smaller watch that's not a U.S. model, there are a lot of 9F quartz watches on eBay that are some really good deals that are, out of Japan, that are the smaller ones that nobody wants, right? And so you can get some deals on those pieces. The old Bond Omega Seamaster. Oh my gosh, yes, that's a good move. Yep. Let's see. Chip Wrong is a multimillionaire that used to poke a bit of fun at Craig. A bit of fun? He was pretty nasty, actually. He texted me he might buy the 002 cash full price from Steve despite Craig, but I told him to make up, forgive the troll Craig. Hey, it'd be fine if he would buy it. I don't think Steve's going to get it in. I think that's the problem. I don't think Steve is going to get it. I think it'd be cool if Chip bought an 002. I mean, I don't really... he said some really nasty things about me, and it's a shame that somebody that's that successful, if in fact he's that successful, it's a shame that he would act like that. I mean, it's not nice. It's not respectful. But people that do that obviously get blocked from this channel. They're not welcome here. Life's too short, right? What watches were those cash buying Porsche customers wearing at that time? Oh yeah, they were all wearing Rolexes. Usually a gold date 8. Sometimes like a Submariner, gold sub. But yeah, most of them were wearing Rolexes. Occasionally you'd see one wearing like a Patek or something like that. Those were popular back in the day. But it was mainly, those guys were mainly wearing Rolexes, and they had the gold chains, they had the heavy gold bracelets and stuff, and big gold rings, and they had the whole 9 yards. Let's see. Next, not sure it's a log one. Just Google the watch that Brosnan worn Goldeneye. Okay. Yeah, we showed one. Let me see if I can pull it up. I think I have it here somewhere. Give me a minute. Maybe we'll get lucky. Well, I know I have it on my watch list. Give me a moment here. Don't anybody panic. I've got it here. I've got it. By George, I've got it. So there it is. There's one of them. All right. Pull up the picture here. There's one that's on eBay. Pretty nice piece of kit. And this has been on my watch list, for several days, so obviously it hasn't sold quickly, right? So that one is $14.95, buy it now price with free shipping. And that one comes from Japan. Okay, let's see. Yes, yes, Seiko works as long as it is accurate and more accurate than an inexpensive automatic. Okay. I still think Craig needs to go back to a Rolex Date 8 during the house. I don't think that's going to happen. We'll see. Leon's in the house. Original Bond Seamaster was the Omega 2541.8. Yeah, that's what this was that I just showed. Chip was also mean to the female hosts. Never forgive. Which female host was he mean to? Was he mean to Sarah? If he was mean to Sarah, then yeah, that is not forgivable. My gosh, can you imagine somebody being mean to her? She couldn't be a nicer young lady. You're going to be mean to her? So some people were, and that's one of the reasons why she stopped doing her show. So yeah, whatever happened to Dudley and his Date 8? I think he still has it. He's still active in some of the Facebook groups. I think he still has it. I'll try, next time I see him popping around Facebook, I'll ask him if he still has the white gold Date 8. I think this is white gold. Is it? No, I'm sorry. No. My gosh, he'd be so mad. His is yellow gold with the black dial. His is a stunner. Absolute stunner. Absolutely agree. The Date 8 is his watch, but we know Craig is stubborn. You have enough GS, Craig. Wear the president's watch. Yeah, but it would probably end up back in the watch box just like the other one was, and I would probably end up not wearing it, which is a total waste. I mean, if I'm not going to wear it, what the hell? Why buy it? That's the way I look at it. But I guess that's just me. Nick Zhang, you can get quite accurate watches starting at $1,000. Oh, yeah. SBGW259 might be the blue dial of the year if it looks anything like the SBGA375. Okay, let's pull that up one more time. SBGW259. Pull it up one time here. That's pretty stunning. That's kind of like a real dark blue, right? I wish they would use better photos. I wish they would get real photos for this website. It's just ridiculous that they don't have decent photos. But this one is 38 mils by 10.9, and it is the mechanical manual movement. Yep. That would be a cool dress watch. That would absolutely be a cool dress watch for somebody who wants steel. But for me, I have to have 18 karat yellow gold for a dress watch. For me. Let's see, Steve. Do you trust eBay? I guess he's asking. I bought that gold stunner off of eBay, and it worked out fine. I mean, I think you can buy some things sometimes and get buyer protection But obviously you're taking a risk. Hey, Craig, in your opinion, when buying vintage, do box and papers matter? I would want, if possible, to buy from the original owner. I know that's tricky and not easy to do, but yeah, I would like to buy one from the actual original owner with the papers with his name on it, his driver's license matching the name, the address matching, everything matching. That would be cool. I think that's the best case scenario, but not always easy to do. Craig, you should get that Speedmaster quartz. That's the only watch in my collection on oversight. Yeah, you mentioned that before. It's almost the perfect all-around watch, perfect size, thickness, and comfortable bracelet. Yeah, they are amazing. If I didn't have this 231, I probably would lock and load on it. I agree with you, but alas, I have the 231, and there's no way it's going to displace this titanium stunner. That ain't going to happen, because this is the most comfortable sport watch I've ever owned. Period. Full stop. I mean, even more comfortable than my Omega Speedmaster 120, which was very trim, very thin watch, really comfortable watch. This even trumps that. So, yeah, it's hard to beat this titanium stunner. Let's see. Dudley is much too busy making moves. There you go. Chip is probably the greatest troll in the watch community next to Discount, but Discount is not as personal. Yeah, that's not a badge of honor that I would want. Let's see. Carlos wears the white gold Date 840. Exactly, yeah. I got them confused just for a moment there. Dur's in the house. Will you serve? I don't know. I'm pretty damn good troll myself. Dur in the house. Thanks, Guy. I have to log off for now. Nick is going to run, and I'm going to run here in a minute. Put any comments in the chat, anything that you want us to look at, because we're going to wrap this puppy up. Oh, keep in mind, Steve's show tomorrow, if he can pull it off, tomorrow at 5, he's going to have Joe Kirk on. That VIP from Grand Seiko is going to be on tomorrow at 5 on this channel. And so please don't miss that one. Let's see here. Buying platinum or white gold isn't worth it. If you're spending that kind of cash, it's got to be yellow gold. If it's gold, I want everyone to know. Absolutely. My gosh, yes. A Date 8? Are you kidding me? Absolutely. The SBGP007 has a titanium case. Let's pull it up. SBGP007. Oh, okay. The one we just looked at. Okay. Yeah, titanium. Okay, I'm sorry. Well, still, I mean, I wouldn't want titanium for a dress watch. I'd want yellow gold. I mean, titanium looks too much like steel. I mean, I'd want yellow gold. The titanium is ideal for this sport watch, heavy-use sport watch. Ideal. But for a dress watch, I want 18-karat yellow gold. If the GS driver works for you, Craig, don't ruin the cosmetic balance by selling it and hunting other watches. No, I have no plans of selling this. It's not a thing. So Joe Kirk is the man. Craig, we need 2-hour shows. Kevin in the house. Well, let Steve know that you want 2-hour shows, and you know, if he would give me something to talk about, like if I could get the 002, then that would help a lot, because then I'd have more to talk about. We could probably go 2 hours. Leslie's in the house. She says hey, and she's always welcome. And Kevin says, right, guys, okay. And Leslie says, great show. All right, well, we're getting ready to wrap it up. 5 p.m. What time zone? 5 p.m. USA Eastern Time. That's the time I normally start. I was scheduled for 5:30 today, but I started a little bit late. But usually 5 or 5:30 USA Eastern Time is usually when we get started here. And it is already scheduled here on the channel, and hopefully he'll pull it off. I agree, we need to keep this show going. This show needs to last longer during the house. And Kevin says, oh yeah, Chip Wrong says Craig made him fall in love with yellow gold. Said he bought 10 bars of Swiss certified gold recently because of Craig's vids. Well, it's a smart move. Absolutely, have some gold. Everybody should have some gold set aside, and yeah, that's not a bad move. I have some silver too, and I have some platinum also. I think diversifying is always a good move. Let's see. Craig, Clive should be at home. You should give him a call and see if he would chime in. He was live earlier and said he didn't have anything on his schedule. Craig, I still say a Day-Date 36 and your GS Diver was a winning meal deal. It was, but it got to the point where I wasn't wearing the Day-Date enough and it kept stopping. And then I had to kept restarting it, and it just got to be a pain. And then I just left it in the box and didn't bother and just kept wearing this. And it just became a situation where I just wasn't wearing it much anymore. It wasn't very legible. I couldn't read the time very good on it. So yeah, I had some issues. Would you consider the new Day-Date 36 again if Rolex offered it in the right dial? That 72-hour power reserve would be great for you. That would be a possibility, but I'd still have the accuracy issue, where it wouldn't be nearly as accurate as the watches I have now. So I've gotten kind of spoiled as far as that goes. That would be the only wild card there. And don't bother to put in the chat that the new movement is super accurate and all that. It doesn't even compare to a spring drive like this. It's not even in the ballpark of the spring drive. And don't even get me started on the 9F, the accuracy of that. Don't even get us going on that route. Let's see. How would we get through the days without these shows? Derek in the house. Getting the new date would not be going back. That is a step forward. Well, unless you've had Grand Seikos, then you realize that it's kind of hard to go back to a Rolex once you've had Grand Seiko. Dur's in the house. Craig, so are you going to look into merchandise? I want to buy a Wrench Gang sweatshirt. Come on, somebody, we must have an entrepreneur in the chat that can come up with some Wrench Gang gear. Yeah, maybe somebody can come up with that. I'll authorize the licensing, and you can take any profits and split them and donate half the profits to the lovely Brianna, Brief Fit Dance. The lovely Brianna. Let's see here. Sounds like a gold, no date, spring drive, Grand Seiko dress watch makes the most sense then. Well, see, that's the thing. If I have, let's pull this up. If I had the 002, right, all I have to do is wind it and set the time and go, right? I don't even have to unscrew the crown because it doesn't even have a screw down crown. So I just wind it, set the time, and go. I don't have to worry about the date. Don't have to worry about anything. Just wind it, literally wind it, set the time, and go. And it's a full-blown dress watch. It's nice and trim. It's more trim than the Day-Date. It's a great size. It's going to look stunning. I mean, it checks all the freaking boxes, folks. But I don't know if Steve can get it in. I don't know if he can deliver. We'll see. But now somebody said in the chat that they're not even shipping anything from Japan at this point. That'll suck. Excuse my French. So yeah, it seems like all of Craig's viewers agree that he should get the Day-Date. Craig, your viewers are intelligent, and are we giving you good advice? There you go. Craig, from a collector's point of view, what do you think of the SBGN001? Well, I'm not a collector, so how can I give you a point of view from a collector? But let me pull it up. The SBGN001. Let's pull it up here and see what we got. Oh, yeah. This is the this is the same as my 005, but this was the limited edition one. I think they are getting a little trickier to get. I think they are absolutely getting a little trickier to get. Would I rather have that than my 005? Not me personally, but if I did want something that was kind of a collector's piece, obviously this is the 25th anniversary of the 9F. I mean, so that's pretty significant. And yeah, I mean, if you could snag one for a decent price, but I think they're getting a little bit dicey to get. But yeah, I think if you could snag one at a decent price, that would not be a bad move. I couldn't fault any. It's a stunner. It is a stunning piece. I do love that snowflake dial cheat down in the house. Well, my gosh, if you see the pictures that other Steve guy posted on Facebook, that 002 is a stunning piece. Now, I haven't seen it in person yet, but I can imagine. I mean, it is stunning if you look at the photos that he posted on Facebook. Let's see. With all of these channels doing live stream, it's like jumping from one pool and into another. Who's next? Archie, Clive, Lewis in the house. What will you do if GS, with its new 5-day thinner SD movement, introduces a thinner case diver? Well, I did say if they came out with this diver in a 42 mil size, so a little smaller, this one's 44, and a 42 mil, or maybe even 41, like 41 or 42 mil, and like 12 mils thick, if they could get it that thin, if they could get it down to like 12 mils thick, I'd be tempted to sell this and step into that. But it would have to be significantly, this one's 14 mils thick, right? So it'd have to be like 2 mils thinner and a little bit smaller. I would be tempted to do that move, because then I could kind of force this into an all-arounder type situation where I could wear it more as an all-around piece. It would probably even slip under a shirt cuff. So that would be cool. So Tim, that would be the thing on that. Lewis is in the house. I doubt they will introduce it soon. The new movement will likely go first to previous do you mean precious metals? I think you meant precious metals, and limited edition watches before it's trickled down to regular watches. There you go. Hello from Panama, joining late, Carlos. Yeah, we're about ready to wrap up, Carlos. Sorry. I know wishful thinking. Hey, Carlos, welcome. You should Skype in. Now I think we're gonna wrap this one up. And remember, tomorrow is the big show with Steve and Kirk, Joe Kirk. Tim, do I qualify for a wrench? Who is going to endorse Tim for a wrench? Who are any members of the wrench gang going to suggest that Tim get a wrench? If you'll vouch for Tim, we can see if we can get him a wrench. Tim McDonald, I don't think anyone knows who you are yet. There you go. Yeah, you gotta kind of show these guys that who you are and what's going on, that you're not trying to infiltrate. We remember, Durr, we had an infiltrator. We had an infiltrator once. And Triforce Rich says, I'm still waiting for my wrench. Okay, so the way it works, folks, is a member of the wrench gang needs to vouch for you. And then I'll make the decision and we'll issue you a wrench. But there has to be a member of the wrench gang that has to vouch for you. Because we've had infiltrators come in and try to infiltrate. We had one that actually got in, and then we had to deal with him. We had to eliminate him. And so that was an issue. Hey, Tim, what's better, a shiny Tudor or GS? I'll nominate Triforce Rich. Triforce Rich. Okay, there you go. Let's make that happen. All right. Triforce Rich now has a wrench. If he comments again, there'll be a wrench by his name. And let's see. There you go. He said thanks. And Chi-Town, you need to make more appearances for us to make a decision, Tim. I think the infiltrator is not going to do it again. Now is a new person. Okay, sure, I'm very patient. Tim says he's patient. All right. Now, one way you can get a wrench for sure is if you buy a Grand Seiko from Steve, then you're pretty much guaranteed to get a wrench. You know, just saying. You join the Grand Seiko gang. Congratulations, Triforce Rich. Welcome to the wrench gang. There you go. Serve. I infiltrated this channel. Ha ha. There you go. Absolutely. Great show. Briefit Dance is in the house. Badge of honor. And hey, follow the lovely Brianna. Go to briefitdance.com. briefitdance.com. And make sure you're also subscribed to her YouTube channel and click the little bell so you get notifications. She doesn't do live streams as often as I do, but when she does do a live stream, it's a blast. Trust me, it's a blast. So you want to check that out, and you want to follow her. And hey, if anybody feels generous and they feel like they're a little flush with cash in these hard times, you can always be a Patreon. You can always become a Patreon of the lovely Briefit Dance, briefitdance.com, and click through to her Patreon link and sign up as a Patreon. Let's see. All Carlos, I complimented your avatar. Carlos has got an awesome Charlie Brown watch. And Briefit Dance, she posted a dancing icon. There you go. All right, well, we're going to wrap this puppy up. We're going to wrap it up. That's what we're going to do. We're going to wrap this puppy up. And tomorrow will be the big show with Steve and Joe Kirk. Please show some support. And we will be back maybe the next day. We'll take this day by day. And I was wearing this blue shirt because we were talking about the Superman watch with the blue dials. So this was the closest thing I had. So that's what I was trying to do with all that. So everybody, thanks for watching. And Tim says, looking at selling my sub Rolex and like to buy a Seiko Prospect LX, but Steve does not have them in stock yet. Well, I would go ahead and sell the Rolex as soon as possible before the market craters. I would go ahead and sell that and then have the money ready when he gets the watch you want. That's the plan that I would go with, Tim. Carlos says hello to Bree. Craig, hot dogs or hamburgers? I haven't gotten there yet. I'm not sure what I'm going to eat tonight, Dur. Thanks, Craig. I can't wait for tomorrow's show, Kevin. Yeah, it's going to be a good one. I'm going to watch it in the TV room. I'm going to relax and watch in the TV room. Bummer, don't want the live stream to end. Later, folks. All right. Well, thank you all for watching, and we will try to do it again as soon as we can. That's how we'll do that. Thanks again.